Silence is the ultimate weapon of power. It may seem illogical to not react in a world where prompt decisions and replies are frequently required. The teachings of deep spirituality, however, advocate another viewpoint. Non-reaction, or making the conscious decision to remain composed and unaffected by stimuli outside of oneself, can result in profound inner peace and spiritual development. Imagine someone cuts you off in traffic. Your immediate response might be anger or annoyance, but a non-response would entail acknowledging the situation and then letting it go without allowing it to disturb your peace. Reacting comes most naturally when confronted with the difficulties and provocations of life. It is a psychological inclination that is firmly embedded in people and is a product of our evolutionary past. Imagine a time when something happens that aggravates or angers you. It might be someone expressing cruel things to you or a frustrating situation. You have a choice to make at that time. You have two options. You can act on impulse based on your feelings and say or do something you might later regret, or you can take a step back and give yourself some time to reflect. The fight or flight response takes over when we are faced with a threat or challenge, forcing us to respond. However, as society has developed and our obstacles have changed from physical to emotional and psychological, reacting frequently has unfavorable effects. A fleeting moment of poor judgment can have far-reaching effects. Therefore, responding rather than reacting is now a very valuable skill. Reaction is alluring because it offers a quick release, a cathartic experience, and a fleeting appearance of control. But this is a dangerous trap because when we behave hastily, we frequently make matters worse, alienate others around us, and endanger our own emotional health. As you navigate your day-to-day life, it is important that you learn how to respond rather than react to circumstances. When you choose not to react, you move towards silence in both speech and thinking. In this silence, you learn insight, emotional intelligence, and the capacity to handle problems with grace. You learn to pause and evaluate your thoughts, feelings, and the outside circumstances. In this regard, the age-old technique of mindfulness is a crucial resource. Being mindful encourages you to be present, to examine your thoughts and feelings without passing judgment, and to purposefully pick your responses. It leads you to step back from the waves of feelings and thoughts and stand in the middle of the chaos as the calm observer. Although stillness and silence are frequently perceived as passive, they have a strength far larger than that of action. In the depth of silence, you acquire the awareness and clarity necessary to respond appropriately. Your thoughts turn into a creative, analytical, and comprehending haven. Rather than being the absence of activity, silence fosters thoughtful, deliberate action. Not reacting does not mean that you disregard what is happening to you or how it is making you feel. Rather, it indicates that you make the conscious decision to avoid negativity or to make a negative cycle worse. It involves putting some distance between the occurrence and your response so that you may act more purposefully and think more clearly. It is in this gap between when something happens and the response you choose towards the thing that your freedom exists. It is a critical point that holds your ultimate power, giving you the ability to choose your reactions consciously. Viktor E. Frankl, a wise man, once said that it is in that moment that we can find our happiness and growth. By pausing for a moment to think things through, you can prevent impulsive behaviors that might have unforeseen repercussions. When you don't react rashly, you release yourself from the destructive tendencies that can entrap you. You refrain from uttering harmful things that can sour relationships and stop yourself from deviating from the intended course. You choose to keep your inner peace. I want you to do a little exercise with me. But before that, have you subscribed? This is the right moment to do react, since together we can follow the light. Now take a minute to observe nature. Look at how quiet the world outside seems. See how everything is peacefully still. The trees stand like old sentinels, their leaves barely trembling. The birds just float around in the sky, savoring their freedom. The gentle sway of leaves, the subtle ripple of water, and the tranquil silence of the earth all harmonize to create a serene symphony. In this quiet, serene tapestry, you'll discover the ageless symphony of existence. It's a reminder to breathe, to observe, and to appreciate the profound simplicity of the natural world. Amidst the hustle and bustle, this moment of stillness can be a lifeline, a sanctuary for your mind and spirit. When you observe keenly, you notice that the river, the ocean, and the sky don't react. The strongest things in nature don't react. Instead, they maintain their strength and composure. You also have great power when you choose to be calm in uncalm situations. Silence can be compared to the immense, peaceful depths of the ocean. Numerous forces interact harmoniously beneath the surface of the tranquil waters. In these depths, life abounds and silent currents of wisdom flow, waiting to lead you when you decide to tap into them. In silence, you can access the power of the universe as if you have a direct line to the wisdom of existence itself. Reacting often results from the ego's urge to protect itself, establish its authority, or feel in charge. Conflict, drama, and the desire to be right are what feed our egos. The ego may influence impulsive behavior as a means of obtaining instant reward and approval. But by choosing not to react, you rise beyond the ego and discover who you really are. Without ego-driven reactions, you are able to experience a profound sense of humility and compassion. You begin to see that your personal aspirations and insecurities are but transitory ripples in the vast tapestry of reality. This insight fosters a stronger bond with other people and the wider universe, enabling you to approach life with more compassion and understanding. Avoiding reaction is one of your greatest assets, and it's through this exercise that you develop emotional control. Impulsive behavior can allow your emotions to take control of you, and frequently results in decisions you'll come to regret. However, by making a conscious decision to respond, you keep emotional control over them rather than letting them overpower you. This emotional mastery involves recognizing your feelings and using them as a guide for sensible decision-making rather than repressing or ignoring them. By repeatedly practicing not reacting, you master the skill of processing your emotions and using them as a source of wisdom and power. Your resolve to be calm in the face of difficulty shines through. Responding instead of reacting helps you develop inner strength and resilience. Life's difficulties no longer shake you to your core. Rather, they present opportunities for development and self-discovery. You can keep your composure in the face of chaos if you get into the habit of not reacting. You develop into a strong oak tree that is firmly rooted in the ground and gracefully sways with the currents of life without ever breaking. Inner peace is not the absence of turmoil, but rather the capacity to stay calm in the face of it. Your impulsive acts are frequently fueled by attachment to outcomes, aspirations, and expectations. When you choose not to react, you embrace non-attachment, a principle firmly established in spiritual traditions all across the world. Non-attachment does not indicate indifference or apathy. It is the acceptance that you have no influence over outside events or other people's behavior. This frees you from the bonds of expectation and disappointment. It enables you to completely participate in life and offer your all without getting caught up with the outcomes. It offers you freedom, adaptability, and a deep sense of calm. Not reacting is very fundamental to your spiritual development and enlightenment journey. When you react, you frequently ruminate on the past or worry about the future. However, when you decide not to react, you free yourself from the constraints of time. You only ever exist in the present, which is the only time when your life truly unfolds. When you practice non-reaction, the past is reduced to a series of memories, and the future is transformed into an expanse of potential. You have the ability to make decisions, control your destiny, and discover contentment in the present moment. You can access the essence of life and existence in this endless now. The strength of remaining silent rests in its capacity to stop the development of conflict and negativity. It allows you to rise above small disagreements and personal offenses, realizing that one's happiness and well-being are too important to trade for fleeting pleasure. Making the decision not to respond lets you take control of your emotions. It helps you cultivate traits like tolerance, compassion, and understanding for the purpose of fostering positive interpersonal interactions and personal development. Spirituality teaches that your actions and responses have an impact on the environment around you. When you make the decision not to act impetuously, you end the cycle of negativity and conflict. You encourage others to respond patiently and empathetically. As a result, in a world that is frequently riven by strife, you shine as a beacon of harmony and wisdom. True strength doesn't come from getting even or hurting people. Rather, it comes from maintaining composure under pressure and making the decision to be compassionate and empathetic even when it is hard. It results from realizing what matters most, letting go of what doesn't, and exercising the willpower to maintain composure in the face of external stress. Imagine a society where people actively choose to respond rather than react, to value silence and calm, and to practice mindfulness and emotional mastery. This world would have more peace, cooperation, and compassion. By demonstrating the fortitude of not acting, every one of us has the ability to start this transformation, starting with you. Do you want to know just how much power you have? Watch the next video and discover more of yourself.